Comparing fractions. When you are comparing fractions, it's important to have the same whole. And what that means is that when you draw a picture, your pictures have to be the same size, the exact same size when we're comparing, or else it's a little hard to compare the fractions together. So if I have a rectangle of this size, to compare another fraction, I need my wholes to be the same, meaning these squares are relatively the same size. They need to be exactly the same. So for instance, if I want to break this up into thirds, and I want to break this one up into halves so I can compare, I am looking at the same size picture to begin with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in 1/3, and I'm going to shade in 1/2. Now, a common misconception that students have is that because you have 1/3 and 3 is bigger than 2, that 1/3 is bigger than 1/2. But in fractions, what we're looking at is how big the piece is. So when I look at 1/3, I'm really looking at a piece that is this size and comparing it to a piece that is this size. That's one thing, and I only have to break it into 2 parts. I'm going to have more than if I have one thing and I break it up into 3 parts. So when I look at this piece, you can see that 1/2 is larger than 1/3. More is colored in, more of the square is taken up by 1/2. So if I was going to compare, I would say that 1/3 is less than 1/2. And this is using to compare. You could do it with circles. If you had fourths and halves, if I colored in 1/4 and I colored in 1/2, I can clearly see that the little piece here that is 1/4 is clearly less than the piece I have here that is 1/2. So when you're comparing fractions, you're looking at more than the number. You're looking at the size of the piece that you have. Now I want to point this out too. In something that's split up in fourths, I do have 4 pieces, but the pieces are smaller. In something that's cut up into 2, I do have 2 pieces, and 4 pieces are more than 2. So I do get more pieces, but the size of the one piece is smaller, and that is what you're thinking about when you are comparing fractions.